Hey there, this is the announcement video. I've been putting this off for so long, and it's a good announcement. It's a really good announcement. But also, I'm mildly terrified. Like, it's big. Okay, are you ready? I'm not sure if I am. All right, rip off the Band-Aid. Here we go. I'm moving. I'm moving this winter. Ugh, okay, I said it. All right, so I'm moving this winter. It's a whole thing, obviously. The precipitating event is that my house friends are moving. They are moving far away. This land won't be theirs anymore, and so I gotta go somewhere. I will be moving east a little ways, about an hour, into a forest off-grid. Now, let me preface this by saying absolutely everything that I am telling you today is the plan, and plans can change. We don't anticipate that anything will have to change, but everything that I'm telling you is what we anticipate happening, not set in stone what is absolutely going to happen. So if something changes, I didn't mean to lie to you, I just didn't know yet. I've known about this very loosely for over a year. So when I would mention that there's some things going on or there's some uncertainty, this is what it was. Like, I didn't know the when, I didn't know the where, I didn't know the how. All I knew was that it was coming. So we've nailed down some loose details at this point. I'm going to try to answer some of the questions that I think that you might have. We'll go from there. I will say, if you want to throw questions down in the comments, I might answer them. I won't be answering exact location, probably ever. I won't be answering really personal questions. I won't be answering anything that makes me anxious or that I don't really have a solid answer to. But if I don't have a solid answer, I'll just say, I don't know yet, or something like that. If it's just a very long list of questions and I get overwhelmed, I will stop answering. But I will do my best to answer questions as I have the answers over time. And it'll probably be in the form of more videos. Let's move on. The current plan is that I will be moving into this forested area. We're going to clear part of it. I am collecting things that I will need there. For example, I got myself a chair to sit outside in. I'll be moving into an RV. We haven't picked an RV or bought an RV yet. I'm looking at something that will give me space to do yoga inside. That's like my number one priority. And I need a decent kitchen because I think that y'all might know that I like to cook. I mentioned off-grid. There's a lake that I can pump water from, and I will be collecting rainwater. I will be using solar power. We have a setup here, and the hope is that we can relocate that setup. Sewage. My gray water, I will be setting up a gray water system for. I'm not quite sure what that's going to look like quite yet. I'm thinking composting toilet. I'm still working out all the dirty details that come with composting toilets. So that's a later decision, but that's kind of how it's looking. In the coming months, I will be letting y'all know of ways that you can help out. My short long-term goal, my 2-year goal is, the trees are screaming, is to have YouTube and related things be my primary income. So YouTube and affiliate links, and if I come out with any merch and things like that. And then farm projects also. So what about the land that I'm on right now? So it's always been my opinion that when moving with enough notice to do so, the gardens in the existing location get worked up until the end. Having permaculture gardens isn't just about what I get out of them. It's also about healing the land. It's also about habitat for small animals and insects. It's about leaving it a better place for the next person. I would like to leave here with everything as planted out as, it would be for whenever I leave. and making sure that there is habitat still in place by the time I leave, that perennials are planted so that the new homeowners have like pretty flowers popping up for them and they can go out there and discover yarrow and echinacea and whatever else. I do want to get the tree guilds nice and established so that they're kind of self-sufficient. Also, I just love working in my gardens and I love spending time with them, and it makes me happy. So I will keep up these grounds as long as I am here, and there is a slim possibility that I will be doing some back and forth once I have moved, depending on when this house sells and if it's needed and all that kind of stuff. That's the what about this land. Who am I taking with me? Y'all know I have animals, and I figured you might be wondering who's coming with me. I intentionally have 2 cats. I have more cats than that. So I had Tito, he moved here with me. And then when my housemates got kittens, and you've met some of them, I got Bruno. And I think y'all met him once. And I got Bruno so that when we moved, Tito would still have a cat friend. And then immediately, Super showed up. And Super was a stray who we brought in to protect her from weather. And she adopted me, and she moved into my room. So I have her. And then my housemates have cats, and one of their cats, who we call Potato doesn't people well, she doesn't do confinement well, and they are moving far. So she's known me only a couple of months less than she's known them, and we feel like it's probably going to be better for her to move with me than to move with them. So I will have 4 cats. It'll be Tito, Bruno, Super, which is short for superfluous, by the way, and Potato, who is also known as Riff Raff. Skinny Joe and Bearded Lady, who are our remaining chickens in this flock, will come with me. They are both past their life expectancies, so I will need to fill out that flock a little bit more. I'm hoping to move with a total of 5 to 7 birds and get that up to like 25 once I move. I don't know yet what the housing situation for the birds will be, so that's going to kind of dictate the size of the flock. I think y'all know that I'm vegan, so I don't eat the eggs, but I'm not opposed to selling and sharing the eggs. I'm not opposed to people eating the eggs. I'm not running egg operation that has the chickens in tight confinement and all that terrible stuff. I run happy chickens. If they lay eggs, cool. I'm not going to supplement anything to force them to lay. Having them for composting and pest control and companionship, because they're fun animals, will produce eggs. So that will be one of my side businesses. My 2 worm bins will be coming with me. I want to get that up to 6 bins by spring and 12 to 18 within a year after that, so that I can sell worm castings, worms, and probably bin systems. Not sure on all the details yet, but that's going to be hopefully one of my income streams. Cats, chickens, worms. The secret project is over there. And I am still waiting for Mama Nature to come in and do her part on that. So here's the deal. If that doesn't happen by the time I move, I'll go ahead and tell y'all what that is. But otherwise, as long as I'm on this land, I'm going to keep it a secret until it's actually working. So now you know that that's an animal. Oh, and the hopefuls for like once I'm there, a livestock guardian dog would be a really good idea. But that's a lot more food and expense. So that's probably going to be a later thing. And then I would love to have ducks, which will also definitely be a later thing. But hopefully both of those can happen within the first year that I'm there. But we'll see. What about the observation year? So in permaculture, you're supposed to observe your land for a full year before you do anything major. Now, obviously, I won't have a year to choose my home site. So that's kind of a yes and no as far as will I take the whole year of observation. I get to start going out there pretty shortly here. In a couple of months, I'll start to make trips for observation, for site analysis, for my sectors map, and start observing like the sun, which I can get off of SunCalc, which is a website, the wind, the noise. Since I will be in a wooded area, I need to look at my fire sector. That's going to be a pretty big deal. So some of those observations I get to start doing this summer and fall. But as far as like where I put the home site, like I mentioned, I won't have a full year to observe that. So the home site, the kitchen garden, herb garden, solar equipment, and my water catchment, those things I'm going to have to set up before I move in. Those won't get a full year of observation. Those things will be my zone 1. Your domicile is your zone 0, and then the things immediately accessible, not in a concentric circle immediately outside of it. I will put the zones video up at the end of this one. The things that are most accessible, that you use most often, that need you most often, that's your zone 1. So my zone 1 will get set up immediately. My zone 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, obviously 5 has no setup, 4 has very little interference at all. But those intermediary zones are the ones where I'll really observe and interact. So I won't start setting up tree guilds until I've been there long enough to see where water really flows, where my light patterns really do go, wildlife goes, where it's accessible. I will take my time on those things because those are things that are a lot harder to change than an herb garden. You know, if I put my herb garden in a spot and it ends up in full shade, I can just make another herb garden. Not so for planting trees and letting them grow big, right? Okay, so what am I going to do as soon as I get there? How will I garden? Well, it's funny you should ask, because the green stock was bought with the specific intention of moving my perennial herbs and having a quick place to set up quick food. So I already have a lemon thyme in there. I already have oregano in there. I already have some sage in there. Strawberries and pine berries are in there. I need to get another sage because the one that's in there is tricolor, and I need to get a regular thyme in there, but both of those are just a matter of digging something up and putting it in. Oh, I have a dwarf comfrey in there as well. So I can move my dwarf comfrey because they're gorgeous and I love them. Over the course of the next few months, I'm going to be digging up and splitting a whole bunch of my full-size comfreys. I have Bocking 14 and I have Bocking 4. Both of those, by the way, are sterile comfreys, so I never have to worry about letting them go all the way to seed and seeding because fertile comfrey spreads like bunnies. And I don't want that to happen. I want my comfrey where I want it. The ones I grow spread by root division, and I'll be showing y'all that soon. Those are going to be a major part of my fertility when I get there because it's a nutrient miner, so it reaches way down deep and it brings up nutrients and minerals into the leaves. There's a row of them behind me. I think you can't see it because it's behind this mullein. So whenever you add that to a worm bin, a chicken compost system, a compost bin, chop and drop, whatever you're doing with it, it adds nutrients, it adds minerals. So that's really awesome. So a whole bunch of comfrey will be coming with me. I'll move plants, like when we go out there, I'll take some and plant it right away. I'll also be saving up some root cuttings in the fridge and soil in plastic bags. Now I do also sell my comfrey divisions, cuttings, all that stuff. The soil where I'm moving is kind of similar. So the deeper soil is still going to be clay like I'm working on here, but the top of it will be a sandier soil from what I've read online. I have not been out there yet. The answer to clay soil and the answer to sandy soil is the same. It's organic material on the surface. It's going to be pretty similar, except I won't have to wait for it to rain or soak the ground to be able to get through the first couple of inches of soil. I'll have some learning curve, some adjustment. That's fine. I'm okay with those things. So what am I going to do about content at the new location before I move? I'm not quite sure. I think what I might do is give y'all some little bites of content over there, but not really reveal too much until I'm over there. So here's my thinking on that. I still have everything going on over here. I'm going to talk about like how I'm preparing to move, what I'm getting ready to go, all those sorts of things. As we go over there, I would like to, not making a promise, not committing, I would like to shoot content of setting up the gardens, of putting in the comfrey, of making the RV pad, of getting the patio set up, those kinds of things. And then saving all that up and releasing it once I'm there, because I have a feeling that when I first move in, emotionally and time-wise, I'm gonna need to take a break. I don't do change well, and moving is massive change. And so I know that I'm just gonna need some settle time once I get there, but I don't wanna have a month of no content. So my hope is that I will have a batch of here's how we set everything up content ready to go, and schedule it to go out once I get there. Again, that's just the hope, the thought right now. We'll see what actually happens. Oh, the climate out there. This was the happiest surprise ever. So I looked up the rainfall, and it's 4 more inches than we get here, and it's a little bit more even throughout the year. So that was super awesome. The average high temperature out there is like 95, with 104 being the high for the last several years, like the high, as opposed to over here where we hit 115, 118, I don't know, it was awful. So that's better. The average low is 33. 33. So like I might be able to take moringa trees through the winter. I might actually be able to have a banana circle in my gray water processing, which would be not for any kind of practical purposes, but absolutely amazing. Like, I would love that. That would be so much fun. Oh, and the extreme low was like 20 something. So the climate is way better. Whew. So just to put this all in one place, let's go ahead and talk about the ways that you can help if you choose to. Please don't feel obligated. If you want to help, I would deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate it, because I am, it's gonna be a lot. So the simplest way that you can help is to click like on my videos when you like them, to subscribe if you haven't already, to share my videos. Share them with anybody that you think might be interested in any of my content. That helps a whole lot. Comment on my videos. That helps. Any way that you interact with my videos lets YouTube know that you want to see more of me. So that's always helpful. Watching my videos to the end helps. Sounds weird, but it does. Go back and rewatch some of my older videos, or scroll back and find some that you haven't seen yet. Those are all very passive ways that you can help that would be very deeply appreciated. If you would like to get into the monetary type of help, I have a Buy Me a Coffee. It's in the description. I have a $3 a month thing set up that is, I don't have any offerings for it yet. I'm doing good to keep up with YouTube and the gardens and life and everything else. Hopefully that will get better. Knowing this was coming but not knowing any details made it really hard for me to keep up with stuff, but it's getting better now that I know what I'm working toward. So if you would like to help with the $3 a month club, that would be deeply appreciated. It would help me out a whole lot. I know it's like just $3, right? But what if 20 of y'all did that? Big boost, right? Or you can just buy me a single coffee or a group of coffees in a single donation. That also works. My single donations are going to the camera that I need to buy so I can shoot better videos for y'all. If you don't want it to go to the camera, if you want it to go to the move, then just make a little note, which obviously will not be a handwritten note. Make a little note when you make the donation that you want it to go to the move, and then I will allocate it appropriately. Greenstock. I have a friends link down in my description for Greenstock. And when you use that link, and it might only be on your first order, but I'm not certain on that. When you use that link, you get $10 off and I get $10 in store credit. I would really like to move with a second Greenstock so that I have enough place to put herbs and greens and some like peppers and things in my first year. If I can't get my gardens in fast enough, at least I have like systems to go. I know you need a Greenstock, so you can go get your Greenstock and get money off, and then also help me get a new Greenstock, which would be a big help. I'm sorry to list everything right here. I'm just trying to get it all in one place. I understand if you don't want to help. It's okay. It's cool. I hate asking for help. I really do. I don't have any merch yet, but I was looking at coming out with merch when I hit 500 subscribers, and that is right around the corner. And I have a feeling that if y'all click like and subscribe and share, I might hit 500 by the time this video is 24 hours old. But that means I need to come out with merch pretty quickly. So that's something I'm looking at doing, and I'll let y'all know when that comes out. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I'm moving this winter off-grid into an RV in the woods. I am super excited. Also, wow, big scary changes, like a lot of big scary changes all at once. The prospect of doing this would not be possible if y'all weren't there. So thank y'all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you and all of your comments and likes and subscribes and shares so far. Thank you. Those of you who've donated so far or bought green stocks, thank you. This is the permaculture zones video, and this is the video that YouTube thinks you need to see next. So go ahead and click on one of those to help me keep those views going, please. And I will see you soon. All right. Later, y'all.